What's going on? Christina here from the Glaser Tutoring Company, and today we are going to solve the system of equations by addition. And then we have these equations. Now it's called a system because you just basically have two or more equations that are laid out for you. Since we have two equations, this is classified as the system. But now what this question's asking for is somehow we have to solve, right? Solve the system. What does that even mean? Well, both of these lines, both x's are raised to the first power, both y's are raised to the first power. If you have both x's and y's raised to the first, that's a linear straight line. And if I have one line going like this for the one equation, and one line going like this for the other equation, there's gotta be, in this example, there is a point in which they have in common. All these other coordinates, they don't have in common, right, on both the left and the right sides of that point. So X marks the spot. That's what you're solving for. You're solving for to see if, there is one specific point that they have in common. Okay, so let's just erase that. So basically what we're looking for is a coordinate, right? Sometimes they call it an ordered pair. I like to call it coordinates, x, comma, y. Why? I don't know, because the question says it. But let's do it anyway, right? And we have to do this by the addition method, which means that we're going to try to get rid of one variable right from the start. So we're either getting rid of the x variables or we're getting rid of the y's. Now, in order to do that by the addition method, one of your variables has to be a positive value, so a plus x, and then the other one in the other equation has to be a minus x or a negative x. Or if you're going to go after the y's, one y has to be positive and the other y in the other equation has to be negative. So in this case, you only pick the one that you can only manipulate one equation. Try that because that's the easiest way. Now what I mean is let's look at the x values. Now I have a negative and a positive value. So one's already a negative and one's already a positive. So that's good. But now I just have to make sure that they're the same number, because if I have like positive 2x and negative 2x and I'm using the addition method, which means that I'm adding them together, these are going to cancel. So I like that. But now let's just see. I have a negative. There's no number in the front, which means that I have a negative 1 and then a 5. Can I turn this into the 5? Yeah, I could take this equation and times it by what? You're exactly correct. A 5, right? Because then I would have negative 5 and a 5. So that's what we're doing here. We're using 5s and 5s, negative and positive, so that when we add these equations together, those go bye-bye. But now, let's just say that this is equation 1 and this is equation 2. If I multiply this 5 by the negative 1, I got to do it for every one. So let's see. For equation 1, 5 times a negative 1 is basically the negative 5x. 5 times 2 is 10, so plus 10. Y equals 5 times a negative 1 is a negative 5. And now we don't have to do anything with equation 2. So I'm just going to rewrite it, right? This is the positive 5x. So 5x minus 10y equals, what do we got? 6. Okay, here we go. Whoop, what happened there? Now when we add them together, because this is the addition, I'm going to add these two together. Let's see what happens. The point here was that the positive and the negative 5x, since they're opposites of each other, they go bye-bye. Get out of here. But then, there's a positive 10 and a negative 10. So by doing one of them for this example, it might not always happen like this, but this cancels. So what's left on this left side of the equal sign? Yeah, big fat 0. So in this case, 0 equals -5 plus 6 is a 1. This is interesting. Do we have any variables anymore? No. We lost both variables. So that leads us to two answers. We either have the same exact line or we have parallel lines. If we have the same exact lines, that means that the red line that I'm going to draw is right on top of the other line. And that means that literally every point is a solution. But now, if I have parallel lines and they run together, they're never going to touch. So they have no solutions. So which one is it when we lose those variables? Well, if the two numbers don't match up, right? In this case, they're saying 0 equals 1. Does that make sense? Absolutely not. This does not make any sense. So that means that these would never touch. So they got to be parallel lines. We said that they were linear, so they're linear parallel lines. So they will never touch. They will never intersect. So in this case, we have no solutions. But just to show you, on the flip side, if you had like 1 equals 1, then that would be the same exact line, and then you would say you have actually infinite solutions because every point is ones that they have in common. But in this case, you have no solutions. And that's it. What'd you think? Thank you so much for viewing the video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We just passed 50,000 subscribers, which, I mean, guys, come on. Thank you. My brother and I, when we started the channel, we would never think that, anything like this would come about. So thank you so much. By putting out so many videos, we want to show you that, hard work, dedication, motivation will do great things and spread kindness. And thank you so much for being a part of this community. Thank you so much. Also, I would like to give a huge shout out to Maricela. Thank you so much for being a member to the channel. Your support means a lot to my brother and me, and we're thrilled to have you be a part of this amazing community. Memberships are open on the channel, and if you want to become a member, just click that join button, which can be found below on any video if you're watching on your desktop, or it can be found on the overall channel page too. For all of you that want your name shown in the video, don't forget to choose the gold tier or higher. Thank you so much for considering, and have a great day. Talk to you in the next lesson. Bye-bye!